No, he came to see me, T.
Oh.
To tell tales about you, essentially.
And poking around again, I see.
Yeah, she has, but not in the place you'd expect.
I've been doing some reconnaissance work.
Can you hit the lever there, T? Thank you. Also, Brent's about ready to take his kneecaps out, so...
Oh, this Crixus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he must have done just more than just talk to you.
Well, he came to see me to tell me, T, that you were a traitor.
He can think that all he likes.
And obviously I laughed and said you weren't a traitor and I was aware of what was going on, right?
Now why?
Because he was presenting all this proof and I said she's not a traitor. And he's like, you know what's going on. And I was kind of like, well, kind of, yeah. Right? I didn't give him the whole story. But so once he'd got past that, he asked me to help him perform a ritual. To rid him of the corruption that is on his body. But something wasn't sitting right with this ritual because it was to Mitra, but he asked me to use corrupted stone. Which makes no sense to me at all. So I switched the corrupted stone for crystal. And performed said ritual as he said it should be performed, but without the ingredients that he said it needed. And he acted as though it worked.
What happened?
Apparently his body is now cleansed and he's no longer controlled by the dark forces that were controlling him, having consumed the dragon and the demon horn. But if it took corrupted stone to get rid of it and I used crystal, then how did it go?
Indeed.
It seemed to me like he was trying to transfer some of my, I hate the word power, but my power to him. That's what I felt like he was trying to do.
Now that is interesting.
I'm not sure if there's a ritual that works that way.
What kind of ritual would require me to sprinkle crumbled, corrupted stone over his body, though? It's not a ritual I've ever heard of.
Sounds like he was trying to get the power from the corrupted stone. The permanently corrupted.
Well, I used crystal. Because I switched it out at the last minute.
Maybe that actually purified him.
But then he went on this whole spiel about how he had this blood oath with Farkas, or the Dark One in him had made a blood oath with Farkas, so that when we went into battle and we thought he was on our side, actually he was going to turn on us at the last minute and help Farkas kill us. And Farkas is planning to kill me, and then T, and then Dorri.
He can try.
But why would he admit this so readily unless he was just trying to convince me that he was now on our side? And then when I wasn't falling for it and I said I needed to talk to you two about the information he'd given me before I came to any decision about what I was going to do with him or how I felt about him, he then tried flirting with me.
Sounds like he's prepared to say or do anything it takes to get what he wants, no matter how low he needs to stoop.
I get the feeling that he's playing both sides, and then when it comes to the battle, he will pick the side he thinks is winning.
No.
No?
He'll pick his side.
Oh, so he wants to take everybody out.
Well, why wouldn't he? In his mind, taking out Farkas and eating him will give him power. What more power could he have if he ate all of us?
Slimy little bastard.
No, self-serving one at least.
But T, you would have vomited on your shoes if you could have heard the things he was saying. Oh, Carlia, you're like a blooming rose coming to life in front of my eyes. Dude, shut the fuck up. And I was like, yeah, I think your lines might need some more work there, mate. And he's like, well, I've been corrupted by the evil one for so long, but you're taking my breath away, and I can feel the beauty returning to me just by gazing into your eyes. And Bryn's like, can I hit him now?
Aha, now I see.
You didn't hit him? Oh, wait. That's the wrong answer.
No, I didn't hit him. I played him. So now he thinks that maybe I may forgive him if he keeps proving that he's on our side. But I do not trust that slime ball as far as I can throw him, and I am looking over my shoulder every opportunity I get.
Well, now, this also brings up another sort of opportunity or issue, depending on how you look at it. Because Crixus now knows that I'm playing Farkas one way or another, it seems.
But we know that he's playing Farkas, so he would be very foolish to play that card.
Well, he may not, though. I mean, for all we know, he may be playing Farkas. He may not. I mean, the fact of the matter is, he knows that we are playing Farkas. That's the issue. Now, I may be able to continue my recon work with Farkas, as well as long as I'm extra careful. But I also may be able to take the opportunity to see if Crixus is of his word, and if he decides to meet up with or work with Farkas, because you said that he had been an apprentice of his of sorts.
He'd made a blood oath to be on his side and to serve Farkas, was what he said. However, when I came to drop a note off at your place, he's already left a note for you. Crixus has, which is evidence that we can present to Farkas should he try and say we're playing him. You can say, no, we're not. He's playing. You look at the note he left me.
He's left a note?
On your arbor, on your grape arbor, yes. I noticed it when I came to drop off your, to leave the note for you, but you were asleep, so I kind of left you sleeping and left it in your room for you.
I'm sorry, Crixus has left a note?
He has, on the, grape arbor outside your house.
Interesting, I did not see that. Thank you, by the way. I received those heads. Much appreciated.
You are welcome. We've got to go and you've got to come and pay appreciation to what Dorri left for me the other day, because there are no words to thank him for that one.
You still need heads?
A few. I've been working on the scorpion and the hellcat. Just a few. What have you left for Carlia?
Come and see.
Picture.
Come on, you've been upstairs anyway, Dorri. You might as well come again. On the wall, T.
Oh. Wow. Who is she?
My grandmother.
That's her.
That's her.
She's beautiful.
I think so. A wee man over there seems to have painted it for me.
You painted that?
I did. It's as I remember her. Strong and
Well
powerful
done.
woman. Thank you.
There just aren't words to express how I feel about that, honestly. I kind of sat here staring at it for over an hour trying to formulate in my head how you say thank you for something like this.
You don't. You just keep going. And remember what she went through.
Yeah, she'd kick the slimy bastard's ass.
I can see the staff disappearing in places it doesn't belong.
That would taint it, would it not?
Not when she was done. He popped up and said,
Anyway, I did not actually confirm that you were working with Farkas. I just said I was aware of the situation.
Yes, well, that is, did you enlighten Dorri on the situation in case? So, essentially, we've been doing a little bit of spy work and trying to gain Farkas's trust in the recent days, and this is why Crixus has called me a traitor.
That makes sense now.
By pretending that we don't appreciate her talents.
Although there was a time I'm not so sure I did.
We can
Fair
slap
enough.
you for that one when we've dealt with Farkas.
As you lived in my house for several days unwanted, but you know.
And who was it that locked me in there?
I just locked my door. You were there. That's not my fault.
I built a wall. Half wall.
And that's how I lock my doors. It keeps all of you out.
Unless you take a potion from the market, Hattie.
Well, yeah, I learned since then.
You did.
It was part of me thought you'd taken it deliberately so you could sneak into his house, honestly. I was quite impressed.
Well, it just so happened to work out that way, to be honest.
It's alright. If necessary, I can do physical reconnaissance with Farkas's house. I can enter his house through the windows.
Are you certain?
Yeah, I am. I can enter most windows. My size helps in that.
He's got a sneaky way in.
He's recently built an outcropping on his porch where there was windows, I believe.
I wonder if he's trying to stop someone else from getting in.
Yeah, probably me, because T can get in and out as she feels like it.
Yes, I've taken a note or two from Dorri's book.
Nice. Very good.
So what do we do about Crixus, and what should we be worrying about? Because I can play him. I'll be very good at playing him, as long as Bryn doesn't kneecap him first. Bryn was not happy.
When did he confront you, T?
Just about 3 days ago, whilst I was with Farkas. He sort of followed us, it seemed.
He did. He said he was trying to work out if it was you.
I didn't know it was him at the time until Carlia confirmed it for me this morning after she said that it was indeed him that called me a traitor, because I didn't recognize his armors nor his voice at the time. It had changed dramatically.
Maybe the magic's running through him.
When we'd finished the ritual, he was talking in his normal voice until he put his helmet back on.
Is it one with horns?
No, the horns are growing out of his head anyway. But the helmet fits over them. Oh! The news was too much for Dorri. He's passed out.
Oh, jeez. His wee little heart couldn't take it. Wake up, little one.
Let me sprinkle him with water, see if it helps. Wake up! Oh dear.
I wonder if he's had a drink or two from your bar.
Maybe. Speaking of the bar, I've been making Coca-Cola for you.
You have? Oh.
I have,
you
and
are
I have
an
some more
angel.
rhino head soup too.
Whatever would I do without you?
Eat boring food.
That too.
But yeah, it was quite a shock to wake up and find this picture here and then the note downstairs explaining what it was.
He's done a marvelous job. I didn't know Dorri had it in him to be this creative.
There's a lot about Dorri we don't know.
Apparently so.
But that dress is exactly the kind of dress I remember hiding under when I visited her. Almost like it was my training for walking in shadows, because like my mother was trying to drag me out and she's like, leave her, she's training.
Wow, that's beautiful.
She snuck me into a couple of balls under her dress as well that I wasn't supposed to be attending because I was too young.
Must have been quite the experiences.
What, the balls are hiding under the dress?
Both.
It's preferable to hide it under a giant skirt, let me put it that way.
I wonder if there's any way we can recreate such a dress. It's beautiful.
It is stunning, isn't it? I haven't seen anything quite so flowy in these lands, and it would be very restrictive for walking in. Like, or for fighting in, for sure.
Yes, but...
I have also seen her
Who
with the
needs to
same
fight
top
for-
and trousers on.
Have you now?
If she was riding a horse or whatever, she would have trousers instead of the skirt.
Makes sense. Now that's difficult to do whilst riding a skirt. Wearing a skirt, I mean.
I get what you mean. Poor Dorri. Doesn't
I'm
look
sure he'll be
quite so
alright.
scary when he's asleep, does he?
No, he doesn't. Actually, it could be described as peaceful, even.
For sure, I just wish he'd fallen asleep on one of the beds.
Oh, well. He'll be alright. At least he'll be away from sandstorms and such.
That's what I said about you, but Rune insisted on carrying you to a bed anyway. I was like, she'll be fine. She'll wake up in the morning with a hangover. Oh, here we go. The water's working.
Welcome back.
Was it something to do with him growing horns that made you pass out?
Or did you stop at Carlisle's bar along the way here?
Oh, I think he's still coming to his senses a little bit.
I'm telling you, that one drink that you have
What
over there.
happened?
We were talking about,
Must be from using the machine.
maybe it's a side effect you need to be aware of. We were talking about Crixus growing horns and you suddenly passed out like it had some kind of revelation that your brain couldn't cope with.
Where are we?
Yeah, right?
I cannot hear you.
Do you need to sit?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Feel better, little one?
Do you think we should follow him and make sure he's okay? He can pick locks, obviously.
Yes, he can. He's been leaving gifts for me inside of my home.
Well, I've been leaving notes there, but, you know, there's a code on the door now.
That's better. I can hear you now.
Probably the ringing in your ears from banging your head on the floor on the way down.
Probably.
Yeah, he kind of went straight down.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Maybe you're from using the machine.
Yeah, it could have taken something out of you. We were talking about Crixus growing horns, and you just suddenly passed out.
I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, this magic happened to me a long time ago. When I first started learning magic. A different magic, stuff that we don't have access to now.
Well, it just drains your body completely then.
No, I have been working on it for a while. Maybe the frows.
It was certainly an interesting little contraption, but what would your advice on Crixus be? Shall I continue to play him and let him think that he's on our side, or we think he's on our side?
I would definitely keep your eyes open. I don't know him well. I've only met him through observation. I've never actually spoken with the man. But if he's growing horns, the magic is changing him. Anything could happen.
And he's certainly only on your side, as it seems right now, Carlia. He sees me as a traitor and doesn't even know Dorri.
He tried to swear fealty to me as a thank you for the ritual, but I wasn't having none of it. I said, he's like, I will be your slave. And I said, I don't do slavery. Don't even use that word around me. Like, he obviously doesn't know me very well if he thinks that that's the way to win me over.
Indeed.
On top of all the bullshit about having eyes that sparkle in the moonlight and taking his breath away and being like a blooming rose and other very, very cheesy...
I figured when you were taking his breath away, you had your hands around his throat, but...
Well... maybe in my mind I did. I just kind of let him waffle because I was getting more information out of him the more he was talking.
True.
But I said I would have a meeting with you two before I made my decision, so he knows that I'm not going to make a decision on my own.
You exercised great restraint there, Carlia. Well done. I'm not sure I would have been able to do the same in your position.
The hardest part was holding back the laughter.
I bet.
I've heard 12-year-olds in Tamriel come up with better pick-up lines than that. I think Bryn had the most restraint out of all of us that day. He was not best pleased with him, let's put it that way.
No, I would think not.
But when he continued to flirt with me in front of Bryn, then I really thought Bryn was going to take his head off.
Do you know if he's ascended?
He has not. Not that he's admitting to, anyway. And he's certainly not behaving as though he has.
He'd go mad with power.
Yes, he probably would, but he's not behaving as though he would, running around killing everything that stands still and trying to get experience back. He's not behaving in that manner. He's just sauntering along.
I wonder.
What?
What else is going on in that little head of his?
A lot of hot air and cheesy lines from what I can tell.
But you spoke of a ritual, which means he's known magic for a while. Most mages don't do rituals until they are much farther in. If he's playing with magic and trying to do rituals, it does sound familiar to a bit. I'm not sure though. I have to do more research.
Well, it was in Mitra's shrine, which has since been cleansed. But like I said, he wanted me to crumble corrupted stone over him to purify him, and that made no sense to me, so I switched it out for crystal to see what he would do.
The thing is maybe he expected the ritual to fail. Either way. Because that would make more sense.
And why ask me to help him perform it?
So that you would try to perform it one way or the other. The thing is he's asking you to do a ritual. He's testing, most likely, your integrity to do something evil. Now, would you do a ritual if you knew that it would corrupt you further?
Absolutely not.
With an enemy? No, but here's my thought process. If he's trying to gain corruption, and trying to be corrupted by the magic he uses, he's trying to get you involved. Not that you are a pure innocent, but to him, he doesn't know your backstory. He may not realize who you are and what you've done in the past.
He knows nothing of that. He only knows what he knows since he met me here, which is I'm prepared to help with advice and items if needed.
Right, but you hold high ideals. You free slaves. You keep a city of the free people. He's using magic and using your basic ideals. You're a pure spirit compared to his. You're willing to corrupt yourself by using a corruption ritual on him.
Well, that failed because I know what corruption stone does.
He would think it was powerful.
So he thinks he's corrupting me?
He was also unsure of the ritual, which is why he wouldn't notice the difference.
Ah.
That it didn't work. He expected the corrupted stone not to work.
So he was trying to corrupt me by performing the ritual?
I think that's more along the lines of what he was doing.
Well, he failed then?
He did, but he also didn't expect the ritual to work on himself, for he did not notice the difference in materials that he used. True mage would have noticed that you used crystal and not stone.
That's true. So we need to be very careful around him.
We do, but Dorri may be onto something. We might be able to use that information against him and play him that way, Carlia. To get more information out of him.
Okay, explain your thought process.
I'm thinking that perhaps you act as though something has happened since the ritual. And go to him for help. See what other information you might be able to pry out of him regarding this sort of ritual, how he came about it, and what he knows about it.
Right, okay. Then I feel different since the ritual was performed, and if we're going to backtrack it and I can get help from Dorri, I need to know what was performed first.
Exactly. Say that, the corruption sort of is working, but not in those sort of words.
Well, maybe I don't say it's working. Maybe I'll just occasionally turn a blind eye to things I wouldn't turn a blind eye to. So he thinks it's working. In a subtle way.
I don't know if that's exactly what he was doing, but it seems like to have a ritual that you were doing and have the components switched and not realize the difference. Issue.
And there's also something coming to my mind now. I remember him saying he needed somebody of purer soul to perform the ritual so that Mitra would listen and lift the corruption from him. And I suggested the priest. And he said the priest wasn't strong enough. It needed to be somebody that had ascended.
How does he know that you've ascended?
I don't know. Unless he's observed my behaviour in the last wee while where I've been running around and killing as many powerful creatures as I can.
That could be. What ascensions do you have?
Give me 1 second and I will tell you. Mitra, Ymir, Taketo, and Yog.
Wow.
When did you get Yog?
That was one of the first ones I took.
That's how he knows you're ascended. When you combat, the flaming ghost comes with you.
Oh, of
Visible to everyone.
course. As soon as I pull the bow out. Well, actually, it's not coming out today. Okay.
I noticed.
No, it was out.
But that would show normally during combat.
Yes. So that would be how he knows.
So he knows that you have at least one ascension.
Well, he doesn't know how
Even
many
if
I've
it's
got.
just Yog. True.
One of them was with a token I found. And I used the token and it was like, you have ascended closer to the gods. And I was like, what? Pick your constellation. Excuse me, what?
T for you. May help you ascend.
Thank you. Much appreciate it.
I no longer need them.
So
I
you
do collect them for their materials.
Ah, okay. Hoarder.
Well, some of those materials are what went into the creation down there.
I can't say anything. Is there anything that you need for that? To make another one if you wanted to?
I'll have to look at what I have.
Because I've
Never
got no
thought
problem
beyond
gathering
having
materials while I'm out and about.
I just figured one was enough at the moment. But it hits very hard.
Please excuse me for a moment.
No problem. One would be more than enough, but I'm thinking, you know, for repairs or if anything gets damaged in battle or, you know, is accidentally damaged beyond repair while you're testing it, it's better to have backup plans for creating a second one just in case.
Yeah, they would only work for one person.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What does?
The portal, I was wondering if you could sneak in a couple and set them for us, but it seems not.
No. Pity.
With Crixus's place, he has doors everywhere. It's very difficult to get in. But he was telling me that in the underneath of his base, he has confirmed what I was suspecting, that he was raising an army of the undead. Because he's admitted as such. And that he was going to go and take care of it and make sure it was gone. So that would be a good way to maybe test if he's telling partly the truth.
How to get in there?
But my concern is that he's going to tell me he's done it and lure me in there and then I can't get back out again.
Bring a portal with you.
That is true, I could definitely do that.
Always have one with you.
I need to go and collect some more keystones so that I can make a few more of those, it seems. Since I'm re-leveling, it's a good time to take out the bosses, right?
It's always a good time.